Hello to the TUC meeting, 5th of August. So we have the usual agenda and we will get an update from App Runtime Deployments Working Group today. Starting with reviewing the action items from last week. And there were no action items. I put them in the wrong place. So there were the action items to generate the numbers for the accepted RFCs. And I just put here the generated. So I need to create a pull request now because we have branch protection in place. So our assign RFC number script cannot push anymore directly to master. So I had to go over the pull request here, and we have the issues for the two RFCs which we accepted, the tracking issues. So this is done. And we can proceed with the update. Thank you, Johan, for joining. So the floor is yours.
Yeah, so hello everyone. Can you unshare? Then I can share my screen. So update from application runtime deployments. First of all, the members of the working group. So we have one new reviewer. I think the last update was in March, I think. So Oliver was already reviewer back then, but we have one new reviewer from his team, that is Milena Encheva. She created a lot of the IPv6 acceptance tests, so really contributed a lot. And yeah, I hope she is eager to become a prover soon. Then next, Dimitar Velinov will leave the group because he has new plans here at SAP and will also, of course, then not become execution lead. That means I will remain also execution lead for the time being. And as you know, Carson Long has left Broadcom some time ago. Yeah, he's still listed here. I guess we can soon remove him. We asked Dave if there is a replacement for him because he also contributed a lot of maintenance work, but so far we have no news on that. Okay. Then the IPv6 validation is ongoing and making quite some progress. So this pipeline for IPv6 has been, I don't know when we've created it, it has been in place for quite some time now. It's running on AWS. We have a new Bosch bootloader version that supports dual stack on AWS. And that one really worked like a charm. So thanks to all contributors. We have a new experimental ops file that enables IPv6 egress traffic. So it basically turns on all switches in the different components. Also, a lot of people are contributing to that one. So here operations experimental, and here it is. There are already other pull requests open who add more stuff to that one. But nevertheless, full IPv6 support is of course only possible when Bosch supports IPv6. So we are waiting for a new Bosch deployment and with a new cloud config and all that, and then we can finally check IPv6 egress. We have also for the CF acceptance tests, we have a whole new test suite for IPv6. So here Milena contributed a lot. So this test suite tests IPv6 connectivity for almost all supported languages. So Python, Ruby, Java, Node.js, PHP, and Go, and Nginx. And yeah, when IPv6 support is enabled by all components, we can then enable this new test suite, and then we have the full egress validation. Okay, that's for IPv6. Then we have the noble stem cell validation. That one is also green since quite some time. The noble stem cell is GA. We do not yet have concrete plans to make it the new default stem cell, but I guess we can start with that one soon. Yeah, and then finally, cost saving. I think next week there will be more on cost saving. We've moved most of our Bosch bootloader environments to a cheaper GCP region that is from Europe West to US East. Aftab is working on that. And then we will also later move the Concourse GKE cluster from Europe to US East to save some more cost. Okay, that was the update. Any questions, comments, wishes?
Keep up the good work and thanks for the update.
Do you see the cost reduction after the move because of the cheaper region?
Will we see a clear cost reduction? I showed some reports last time, and it's even cost went down even further now. I can't tell how much the region change contributed to that. I guess the main effect came from the fact that we trigger the validation pipeline only once per day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can try to get more to dive into more details for next week's talk meeting where we discuss cost saving again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions?
Doesn't seem to be the case. Thank you, Jochen, for the update.
Okay. Sharing.
And for the time. You can stay or leave.
Cool.
Enjoy
watch
the
the show.
PLC show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then I will share my screen. I tried to write down your update. If you see something is not correct, you can tell me to fix it, that one. Okay, now we can continue with the dashboard. Now a new month and a new PR regarding inactive user deletion. Yeah, you see here. I'm happy that the list here is quite short. I opened already a PR for the foundational infrastructure working group, and we have already discussion there. Yeah, you can also check on for your working group. But yeah, we need to wait here 2 weeks before we can accept and merge. I have another one on disabling the branch protection for admins because of deploy keys usage. This repository has been missed during the update last week where we had the PR. Yeah, actually the same pattern, just disabling the enforce admins. GitHub is full somehow. No. Okay, thank you. I have the update, the approvals. I can merge. Okay, then we can continue with the RFCs. We have just need to move this somehow. Custom stacks, we have still conceptual discussions here. I think Florian didn't provide any update. Do you want to say something, Greg? Oh, it's already in the comments.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the other RFC, it looks like Ruben had already raised some of this stuff, so I definitely want him to come back before we move too much further with this one. But I think, yeah, I think it's just a general uh, observation that historically for regular or traditional build packs, we haven't had a registry dependency. And so now, like, you're potentially in a case where if you don't run Docker apps on your Cloud Foundry deployment or environment, then you may not have access to a registry. So that could be a barrier to adoption for this particular feature. And you could end up in a situation where you only use the registry for this feature, which maybe feels a bit excessive.
You are not quite convinced, Chris, or
I don't. I'm not in this situation, so it's hard for me to put my thumb on whether this is a bad thing or a good thing, and I don't have a good answer.
Yeah, my thoughts are it depends really on the use case. If it's the emergency switch to allow the removal of an FS3 stack, and if there are a handful of customers on big landscapes that would otherwise block it, then I would have no mercy with them, to be honest. They have to bite the registry, get one, their problem. We offer impossibility to continue with the old stack if that's really a wish.
Yeah.
So for that scenario, I would say it's good enough. If you think of you want to have real custom stacks, hardened versions, etc., then I agree. Then it would be nicer if we
Yeah,
have.
and I mean there may be some other edge cases like this, but I think CF usually ships like batteries included, so that's why we have a like self-deploying databases for Postgres and MySQL that you can include with your deployment. We have the WebDAV blob store, even though that's not supposed to be for production use. So like in this case, to use this feature, you would need to go out and add some other dependency. So a potential, if we pull on that thread some more, a potential world could be like, oh, maybe this is like a sign that we should start including a like some sort of included container registry as well, which is like something we've danced around for a long time, but never had justification to do. This particular RFC feels like kind of a not very strong justification for doing that, but that is a like potential alternate perspective on the problem I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
I mean, if we were to include a registry, it'd probably just be like a front in front of the, or like a layer in front of the blob store anyway. At which point, like, maybe we should just put the stacks in the blob store and not have that additional front. Uh, and then I
Yeah.
guess down at the bottom, I had also proposed a, if we're only if we only really care about the stack migration case here, maybe there's a world where we can hide the details of where the stack is actually stored and have a different UX where we basically say just like freeze the stack for this app, and then Cloud Foundry handles where that stack is placed. Just an alternate world.
Mm.
But yeah, I think Ruben had raised similar concerns to this on the other RFC before this was split out. So maybe when he's back, he can give his perspective on stuff.
Yep. I would say it's still under discussion. Let's continue here a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think just if we target the stack migration use case, having a simple way to somehow cache store the stack could be an easy approach, maybe, yeah. But yeah, let's wait also for Ruben's input and Florian's, and then we can continue discussions. Okay, on the other one, let's see. I think you, Stephan, updated shortly 1 hour ago. Yeah. This is about the storage CLI.
Yeah, the discussion was about connection parameters, where it's today possible, let's say, to configure an arbitrary list of parameters that hopefully fog can understand and forward to the gas provider in a good way. And we don't know really how this feature is used worldwide. So in our SAP foundations, I know at least of 2 special parameters that we are using. That's uniform bucket access on Google and a timeout for block writes on Azure. And we would, yeah, our plan was to enhance the configuration here. And that would be one way to address it. We wait for input by operators over time and then add connection parameters as needed. The alternative could be a generic config parameter similar to what fog offers, and then somehow map it. I don't know how, but should be possible somehow to the configuration structure that is available in the Golang SDK.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't I didn't intend for this to be a blocker for this RFC necessarily, just another interface that we have currently for the fog library. And unfortunately here, it's a bit of a leaky interface because it just
Yeah.
gets shuttled on to fog and whatever fog does.
That's why I personally
yeah.
prefer option 1 with explicit parameters. Which I think works out if we can afford to keep fog for some time so that operators have time to migration, try it out, and switch back to fog if something is missing, and gives the feedback, and then we get the right set of parameters instead of arbitrary nonsense. But if this fog thingy would block the Ruby version update, which at least was stated in somewhere, then we might have to go for this option 2 and implement it so that we can really then remove fog, and even without knowing all the parameters that are needed in some, let's say, more remote installations.
Yeah, no, at the very least, I think I'd want some sort of migration guide of like, if I'm an operator and I look at that hash and I see something that my previous colleague configured like 7 years ago when setting up the environment and has a whole bunch of random fog parameters in it, like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Because yeah, especially if we're going to be pushing people off fog pretty aggressively, which is maybe the right thing to do.
Mhm.
I think that, yeah, exactly. In the commit message, small fix, exactly. Small fix to the issue we were seeing.
Yeah, but this can be decided. This yeah, it's not blocking the RS. I also agree. Just can be decided in the implementation. And regarding how to proceed with the consolidation, it looks like you have an agreement, Stephan. Or
Yep, here I think we have an agreement.
and there are no other open questions.
From my point of view, I would say no. So
So then we can start the final comment period.
we have started it, so we could merge it actually.
Oh, we started. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Many comments. Okay. Let me put a comment that. Okay. Do we have enough approvals here? Not yet. The first PR to approve, you still need time. Do you need the PR, Chris? The link.
Yep, give me just a second. Sorry, I was getting a system update pushed down to me, of course, in the middle of the meeting here that I was trying to cancel out.
Thank you. Okay, we have another RFC approved and merged. I need again to generate the magic number. That action item. I think these two didn't have any updates. I didn't see at least regarding the stack handling enhancement, still open discussions. I also didn't see any updates from forum yet. Just need to check again. Yeah, there are open questions. Also, Greg commented on this. Yeah, we have to wait here. Do you want to comment something here, someone? No, everything is in the comments, okay. And then the next one. Yeah, about the Open API spec. Yeah, looks good. Some open discussions. So here, Florian wanted to have the repository already to put the experiments in that. So we created. So he created a PR last week, which we approved. It's now in ARI working group. Greg, if it's not okay for you, we can just discuss this and move. I thought having 3 approvals to go with that one. Okay. And this is all regarding the status. So hash-based started last week. So we have some activities. We can move this one to in progress. Regarding the credential bindings, Stephan, has this started already?
Yes, it has started, but there's nothing visible yet. But
Yeah, I can put in progress if then yeah. And most probably the concourse one. Then we don't have any. Yeah, we can discuss next week. This is a agenda point in the for the cost savings meeting. On the issues, Chris, do you have any updates regarding the concourse CLA?
No, gonna circle back with them this week though. I know it's dragging out.
Okay. And we can go to any other business. So Ruben brought this up when we need so many enforced admins false. And at least in our working group, people want to use deploy keys. Shouldn't this be the default like in the branch protection?
Sure. I have no real strong opinion on it. I remember one issue in the CF deployment working group where such a branch protection for admins would have helped. But it's, let's say, if you have the admin rights and everybody in the TOC has them or working group leads, it's always a bit risky to have too many browser tabs open and things like that. And so I have a tendency to preserve it. I can't really weigh the risk of having admin rights versus deploy key and bot users. I have no strong opinion here.
So this will just reduce some configuration which we have now in the branch protection YAML. Otherwise, yeah. I'm also fine keeping it like it is, and if it gets too much, only for the admin role disablement, then we can discuss again. I don't know. Chris, Greg, do you have an opinion on this?
Nothing new. I mean, the nice with the deploy keys is simply that you're limited to the blast radius of the current deployment repo. But I don't have a strong feeling one way or another on this one.
I haven't seen many cases of this causing problems in our working group, at least yet. But I'm also open to either opening it up by default or letting you configure it working group by working group.
That's also an easy option. Have this one of these magic configuration parameters in the automation, and then it can be configured per working group.
Do you have anything else? Wow, I'm typing. No. So
Maybe just for information, because I'm not sure, but I guess it's the first thing I requested Chris to create an Azure account for the Aring working group so that we can test also the deployment and especially blob store operations against Azure. So thanks, Chris, for creating this account, and yeah, I will
No problem.
see how that feels like with the onboarding and access management, and yeah.
And I also heard from people they're waiting for it's not this PR. If you, Stephan and Greg, you are in the call, if you can check after the call, maybe. Looks like there is agreement on that. Yeah, I'll just I put that in the chat. Okay, then if there is nothing else, we are done for today. Thank you for your time, and see you next week. Next week is the cost savings meeting.
Excellent.
Let's see what we have on the table.
See you next
All right,
week.
see you next
Okay.
week.
See you.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye bye.